Oh boy, here we go. Episode number 6 already. And look at my man, Robert Shinetsky, my partner in crime, decked out in this here. Look, even the money shot, so to speak, the LSU. So here we are. I don't know if that's bourbon, but here's the episode number 6 of the Bourbon Brothers.
Yeah, I'm a respectable, responsible drinker. This is just coffee at this moment. Now, after the podcast, it might get a little crazy, but...
Right? Yeah. Well, one of these days, you're going to have like breakfast with the Bourbon Brothers and just get it started that way.
I like that. For the listeners at home, you can tell college football is getting close.
Right.
Justin's got his Hurricanes hat going on. I've got my LSU hat on.
I totally got overpowered on this one. I didn't have the whole, I just wore the hat. I just figured.
Well, I mean, it's so my thinking is, I don't know if this really matters or not in my head, but I guess this goes back to when I was doing reviews with CJ. Like when I hop on camera, I don't want to be wearing a brand's t-shirt or anything like that. There are numerous supplement companies that I support. Yeah, I work with, even the ones that I support, like there's certain ones that I work with and ones that I just support willingly that I don't even have any kind of business affiliation with. I like what they're doing. There's really good people behind the brand. They're putting on quality products. But when I come on like these podcast formats, I don't even want it to be like, oh man, there's subtle advertising for XYZ brand because he's always got their t-shirt on or something like that. So I figure, shit. I mean, the only thing I have in my closet are LSU shirts, supplement company shirts, and then I've got a few like button-down shirts still from my engineering days, which you know those don't quite fit anymore. They I tried to put one on a little while ago because it had been years since I actually needed to wear a button-down, and I've gotten a little bit bigger because when I was engineering, I was very, very thin. I hadn't started really resistance training much of anything yet. And I got that. I'm not trying to say I'm a mass monster by any means. Please don't misunderstand, because I mean, people who see me in person, they know I'm not some huge motherfucker. But the size shirts I had were like skinny mini shirts, and so now I'm a little bit bigger than that. And so like you try to put on it, I feel like I'm like in like a hot dog wrapper or something like that. So I need to get a couple of dress shirts.
Yeah. Well, you know, and you're right too, like because a lot of times that's why I like, because like most of my wardrobe these days is just TNS, like the nutrition store gear. So it's perfect because but I never pay attention to what I wear. And then sometimes I think about that too, because I'll get people talk shit like every once in a while, or like used to about, you know, because like I advertise for Brady because I wear my Azif hat like all the time. And honestly, like I tell people, I was like, I don't even really realize it. Like I was like,
it's just a comfortable hat.
I was like, I just like the hat, right? It's totally broken in. It fits perfectly. I was like, it's the slogan, the get shit done slogan. So people are always like, oh yeah, Brady finances him and fucking pays him. And it's like, all right, that's like literally makes no sense. Like he's my business partner. Like why the fuck would he pay me? But whatever. But you're right. It does kind of send like a weird message, you know, sometimes. So I got a Bullfrog. This is like, so I got this at the event a couple weeks ago, you know, Paul's event. Yep. This is like one of the most comfortable shirts ever. Yeah. Like, this shirt is so comfortable. So yeah, it's like that. We're actually doing the same thing. Did you see the shirt? Did I show you the shirt? the new supplement Snoop shirt that's coming?
No, I have not seen that. I've got the old one. I have not seen the new one yet.
So, were you a fan of like X-Files growing up?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I was just sitting there the other day, and it popped in my head. It's gonna. I don't have like an image of it to share with you. Like I can show it to you on your phone or something like that. But like in the typewriter, like distressed kind of font, like it says "The truth is out there," and then it's got our logo underneath.
Very cool.
I was like, I gotta. It like popped in my head the other day, and I'm like, I gotta run with that one. So
Jacob's chiming in. He's seen it.
Yeah, it came out pretty awesome. We just have to. I sent the stuff over to Jacob. Hooked me up with his, because TNS gear is elite. Like I said, it's as good as you get. So he hooked me up with their partner, and I sent her the stuff. So we're gonna get that rolling here pretty soon.
Sweet. Which reminds me, this will be another conversation we can have off air. Then we've been getting requests across a couple of the different shows for merchandise. So we've been kind of like hitting so we need to come up with first of all, we need a Bourbon Brothers logo so we can put up for these podcasts, like cover art for the episodes. We need to do that. So if you've got a good connection, somebody that knows their shit and can do it for, you know, a reasonable price, let's get a Bourbon Brothers logo agreed upon, and let's figure out, I don't know if we use Teespring or some other kind of like online merchandise store or something like that. We can figure out something, and we can come up with like Bourbon Bros coffee mugs, Bourbon Bros sweatshirts, T-shirts, something like that, and we can figure
Yeah,
something
get bourbon
like
classes because I have my supplement
Yeah.
Snoop. I have my supplement Snoop one, but you can always have more.
That's what I'm talking about, Jacob.
I actually was like, I already know that he's gonna chime in, so I was like, I'm not even gonna say anything because I know he'll chime in. So
Awesome. Well, then, thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We need to get Jacob on for one of these chats. Maybe that'll be when we do the breakfast with the Bourbon Bros. Maybe Jacob can be our inaugural guest on this since he's a bourbon enthusiast as well, and the three of us can.
I would have it no other way. I would have it no other way. Have you you haven't had him on Supplement Engineer podcast?
Yeah, him and I did one maybe about a year ago.
I was gonna say
yeah. We've talked and we've messaged back and forth in the past and stuff. So I don't know if I have his phone number. I had his IG thing when I used to have that, and then I got rid of it, and I lost a bunch of contacts. So like I had something set up to get Gorilla Chemist come on the show. I forgot to get his phone number before I just got rid of all of that nonsense. So I've got to go back and get a few contacts, like certain other people, like John Meadows. I have his number. I've still got Lane Norton and a few other people.
How many names are you going to drop here before like we actually get into it? Like, is this...
I mean, we can. I've got Justin Hall in my phone. I've got Brady in my phone.
I didn't know. This is thought leader type stuff right here, man. You
Dude,
just got
industry innovators.
He's got to drop a lot of names, and
yeah, there we go.
And we're like, oh my god, he is important.
See, I'm not the creative guy. That's
why we put this in the background.
Yeah. We're getting. I mean, if somebody can come up with a concept of of what a Bourbon Brothers thing should be, I mean, I'm all ears. Send me a couple of mock-ups or give me something. Me and Justin like bourbon, and we nerd out about supplements and college football.
Yep,
and
like
Super Nintendo.
It's going to be like two like those big lounge chairs in front of a fireplace kind of thing.
Yeah, that could work. I'd be okay with that. Thought leader over here.
Yeah.
Game-changing thought leaders and titans of industry.
Yeah. Wait. So, okay. Getting into the important stuff about our outfits. So, I didn't realize we have a trip right in a couple of weeks and at the end of the month, right? And we're kind of looking forward to that. And then I was thinking about it. We come back. It's that weekend is Miami and Alabama already, and I was like, "Holy fuck!" I was like, "That is literally in less than a month."
Yeah, man. September. It's actually LSU's game is a month from today. It's September 4th, I think, is kickoff. Let me see.
They play on a Wednesday.
Is the 4th a Wednesday?
Oh, I don't know. Well, probably not because of the month. Maybe.
Yeah, September 4th against UCLA, UCLA, 7:30 p.m. at night, September 4th. I think it's a Saturday.
Was that Thursday?
Is it? What the hell day is September 4th?
I don't know. Oh,
September 4th is a Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. Because I know Miami and Alabama is on at like 3:30 that weekend.
Yeah, we've got a friend of ours. Well, his wife actually teaches at the same school that Sandy does in the college advising department. Mm-hmm. And he is a huge Clemson fan. So he went to Clemson, and now he's going back to get his PhD, but he's doing it through Mississippi State. So now he's one time we see him, he's wearing Clemson stuff. The other time he's wearing Mississippi State stuff, and his wife is an Auburn grad. So there's like this most of the people around us are all like UT and A&M fans, which that's been made official now, unofficially official, that UT and Oklahoma are now going to join the SEC. At the latest at 2025, 2026 season?
Yeah, I thought 2025.
Which makes no sense to me. So the initial story came out that UT and Oklahoma were in cahoots to join the SEC. Right there, that should send off warning bells. Right. The fact that they have the Red River Shootout rivalry, which goes back like 100 years. They hate each other. Mm-hmm. Like UT's little symbol, for the people that don't understand this, is this little hook 'em horns thing. OU doesn't have a school symbol. It is just the inverse. It is, I'm going to put UT symbol down. Mm-hmm. The fact that they were working together on this should have sent off warning bells. A&M's athletic director comes out and says, we had a gentleman's agreement that we were going to be the only Texas team in the SEC. We want to be that. Fast forward a week. The vote to bring in UT and OU is unanimous. It is 14-0. If that doesn't send off fucking warning bells, that so there are some major kickbacks going. All of a sudden, like UT and A&M have solved their things. There's not more pissing match about who the little brother school in Texas is anymore. OU and UT have settled their little fit, and apparently all's rainbows and sunshine as long as that they're getting enough money from the SEC now. I mean, it's just
and I think we talked about this. I don't like the direction that college football has been going, especially the last few years. But what are you gonna do? So I mean, that is still like the one sport that like I think we talked about this. That was probably the only sport I watched last year. Like when COVID was going on, I kind of got away from watching sports, and I realized that I was like, wow, I don't really I don't miss it in any way. But then I still watch college football on Saturdays, even though I think this year it's kind of sucks to start with Alabama.
That's going to be a rough opener. I mean, it's great for fans of college football and the history of the game and stuff, but that's shit, man.
Well, it also kind of sucks. Miami should be pretty good this year, but their quarterback got hurt in the bowl game. He tore his ACL in the bowl game. So he's been there for 2 years, and he's never had, because last year COVID canceled all of basically spring practice. So they brought in a new offensive coordinator, this really exciting offense, and then they bring in this exciting quarterback. He never had any practice time last year because of COVID, and then this year he doesn't get any practice time because he's recovering from his ACL injury. So it's kind of annoying. You're kind of looking forward to this sort of new thing, but it's there's always something then it's oh, and then we're gonna play Alabama the first game of the year. But then after that, their schedule is absolute trash.
How's the ACC in general going to be this year? So, I mean, Clemson's still going to be sharp. We know that. How's the rest of it looking at, Florida State and all of them?
Florida State's still going to suck, which is good. But North Carolina, ever since Mac Brown got there, he's made them legit. They're good. They kicked – I didn't see the game last year because it was actually the same day as the Christmas party, the TNS Christmas party. I didn't see it. North Carolina kicked the ever-loving shit out of Miami. They fucking whooped their ass.
Damn.
Yeah, they had 700 yards of offense basically. But so North Carolina is the team that might have the best chance to challenge Clemson, but I think Miami still has more talent than them, but Mac Brown is just a much better coach than Manny Diaz is. Manny Diaz is but he can recruit. That's for sure. He can recruit.
Well, yeah, because he was I know he was the DC under Mac Brown at UT. Manny Diaz was there. Yeah. And then he went somewhere else. Was he at Florida for a bit?
He went from Texas to Mississippi State, I think he went to Mississippi State for very briefly. Yeah. And then he came to Miami as a defensive coordinator. And then he left to be the head coach at Temple. And then Mark Richt left, and then they hired So Diaz already agreed to be Temple's coach. They introduced him and everything, and then Miami offered him to come back, so he left there and came back.
Gotcha.
There was Miami fans were not happy about that. I was not happy about that. They didn't even search for a coach. They just gave him the job, and it's I don't know. It was.
Did Rick kind of anoint him as the he said, "Hey, I'm going to agree to step aside, but you guys got to hire him, or I'm going to drag you out till the end of my contract," kind of thing?
No, Rick. And did you see the whole thing with Mark Richt and Parkinson's and all that stuff?
Yeah, that's sad. I mean, he just seems like a solid, just upstanding, good guy. I mean, he had phenomenal teams at Georgia, but every time I've ever seen him, he's always conducted himself with the utmost class.
He basically paid out of his own pocket for the Miami indoor practice facility because they kept.
I remember you telling me that last year.
They kept him hauling back and forth, and they couldn't come to some kind of agreement. He's like, "Fuck it, I'll just do it." So, but it was really kind of sad because when they started, because he got them. They were number 2. At one point, they had that they kicked the ever-loving shit out of Notre Dame on national TV.
Yeah,
it was that big deal. So, but then they had sort of this downward kind of spiral, and the next year was kind of struggling. So, and some people, I actually, when it all came out, there's reading some message boards and stuff like that. There was people that were in the medical community. Miami is a pretty prestigious medical school and things like that, and there was fans saying they were speculating there's something wrong with him. When he's on the sideline, there's these things about Parkinson's and stuff like that, these signals. Yeah. And people were saying we think that there's something, going on with him. And it kind of made a lot of sense too, because it almost was you were watching games sometimes and it was he didn't you've been coaching for your entire life. And it's all of a sudden, you forgot how to do it. And it was kind of people were pretty rough about it, but at the same time, he's kind of going through this stuff that has now sort of surfaced later on. So he ended up sort of retiring out of nowhere for them, which actually really helped them, really helped the school because then they didn't have to buy out his contract and all this other stuff. So he's like a phenomenal human being. Like he just like everything that he does for like the community and stuff like that. So, and he did like basically everything cool that's happened at Miami in the last 15 years happened when he was there. So he was definitely a good coach for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Listeners tuning in on the live stream, post up anything you got. Doesn't have to be strictly college football. We are open to discussing bourbon or, sometimes supplements and other stuff too. But post up anything you guys have. We can buzz through a couple of these real quick while we're waiting for everybody else to toss in their comments or smart ass remarks.
You mean like the one about, can you tell me the best supplement to help with bloating?
Yeah.
I actually do. I was going to say, I do know the best supplement to help with bloating is to stop reading the fucking internet. Because it's a lie.
Have you been getting a lot of questions with with like digestive aids and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always been that way. There's I talked about that. The whole thing like bothers me quite a bit. It's about the whole like predatory marketing towards women and making them feel like bloating and all. Dude, it's like it's a natural thing and that happens to people's bodies when you eat and drink water and all sorts. It's just so. If you ever go online and things like that, every article is aimed at women. It's like, what do you think? I mean, do you think guys don't deal with bloating and stuff like that? It's not something that you're supposed to just. Now, granted, there are some things like if you're constantly having some real like issues with it, it's like, okay, the way the diets are and things like these days they're bad as it is, and who knows what's going on. But at the same time, like they make women feel like this process is like a bad thing and that they should be ashamed that I don't like that stuff. And it's like, okay, and we have this cure for your bloating. It's like, it's almost like the water weight kind of pills. Like you get women feeling like, we have to get rid of this water. It's like, just think about that for a second. What do you mean get rid of the water? You're not supposed to do that. You don't want to get rid of water. Your body's made up of water. But anyway, so I went off about that the other day. I get some interesting questions. There was a question a woman asked me today about women and like sex drive. Like, is there supplements you can take with sex drive? And I kind of went on a tangent about it, about how a lot of it is just like how you feel and like how things like that, like where women are more susceptible to feeling like there's something wrong with them or like it's some kind of like unsexy like thing. And it really, it's just what everybody goes through, but it's like everything is targeted at them, and it just kind of beats them down. It bothers me.
Well, that's what one thing I'm curious about is, all right, so it seems like there's this rampant thing, and maybe it's just because everybody feels the need to talk about everything these days, or social media has removed so many barriers of stuff. Like there's maybe this problem has always been going on. I don't know, but it seems like there's so many advertisements or fear mongering and stuff that like. Do you struggle with sex drive? Do you struggle with low libido and stuff like that? I'm just wondering, like, are people placebo or noceboing themselves into this state of, I have to be worried about my sex life if I'm not wanting to go out and like hump the doorknob every 30 seconds of every day. Is something wrong with me? And I think like your lifestyle has such a bigger impact on it. Like, okay, you want to be intimate with your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, partner, whatever you want to call it. You know, your little Muppet baby that's in the corner over there, whatever. Are you actually spending quality time, or are you sitting there on opposite sides of the sofa or on different sofas in the living room, just like mindlessly binging something on Netflix, or both of you just sitting there scrolling through your phones? I mean, you've got to kind of set the stage for intimacy, romance, whatever you want to do. I never thought we'd actually be getting into this.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, we're getting into the relationship
advice. It's awesome. But I mean, think about it. You got to like, you as the guy got to do some stuff to get the girl set up. The girl's got to do some stuff to get the guy set up. They're just like two people coming together. If you're away from each other the entire day, what is your sex drive really going to be that strong? Are you going to really feel that close to it? I mean, outside of just like the pure physical, I mean, you're going to want to go maybe, but you've got to do something. Like just the simple act of just like sitting next to each other or just laying in bed watching a movie together or something like that. Have close physical contact away from the phones, spend just you and the other person looking at each other in the eyes, talking, having a conversation, actually interacting with another physical human being, not through a piece of technology. I think that would have leaps and bounds where you're sharing your problems with them instead of bitching about it in a Facebook post. They didn't like my post. Wow. Live in the present with the people around you that have a tangible effect on your personality. That will bring you so much more reward, personal satisfaction, gratification, intimacy, closeness with people. I think there's got to be more. I don't think like there's this huge drop off in libido just genetically or environmentally happening. I think it's more due to the fact that we are detaching ourselves from, one-on-one interactions.
Yeah, and it's really easy to connect with other people rather than the person that's in the room. So I just remember like when social media became like really prevalent, like Facebook and stuff like that. I remember the main reason why I didn't adopt it. I actually hated it is because I just remember so my friends and I would always get together, we'd watch football or whatever, and all growing up. And then I just remember this transition where all of a sudden, like we would be like all hanging out, like watching the game, but I would be the only one like paying attention, like because everybody was like on their phones or like on Facebook and stuff like that. And I'm like, this sucks. Like, why am I even here? Like, why are we all in the same room together? Like, you just need somebody around you because you're not present with them at all. Yeah. And it's like the same thing definitely carries over to like relationship stuff where it's like, if there's because we don't like do anything substantial for any sort of period of time. We're like constantly like switching tasks and things like that. So it's like, and everybody's stressed out and all these other things. So it's like stress is like such a huge like libido killer, and no one's sleeping well, and everybody's so it's like you're sort of with people, but you're really not. And I mean, I can speak to that personally. I mean, like just from being divorced and then where I'm at now and stuff like that. Like there was things that I thought were problems, like internally. Like I'm like, man, do I need to go to like an HRT clinic? Like, is there something going on? Really, what the whole entire issue was just a lack of communication, a lack of exactly what you're talking about, a lack of being present and like sort of taking on those things that sort of builds chemistry between two people anyway. So I know 100% that's true. Like what you said.
Just spend time together. I mean, that'll be one of the easiest ways to get a closer, just spend time actually physically together.
Especially like when people are together for a while, it's like, things change, but then people don't really want to talk about that or like figure out like, okay, and just because things are changing doesn't mean it's like making that it's worse, but it's like, okay, what can we do to continue to make sure? And that was one thing I said that we realized, like when I got divorced, we realized we weren't doing that anymore. And then we kind of had this conversation like, okay, do we want to go back and try to do this again? And I remember thinking to myself, I don't want to. So it was no surprise that it didn't last because I was like, I don't want to do this. Like So I think that's really common with people, that it's just so much easier to have these like surface level interactions with people that you barely know. And, everybody's like, when you only see like a slight amount of a person, like everybody's great, right? For like 2 minutes, but then it's like, can you really dig down into it? It's like, that's when you really see people. But I think you're right, man. It's like, I think it's less to do chemically and more to do with habits and things like that too. I mentioned about like women also being really susceptible to, say, if you're on social media a lot and you're looking at Instagram and stuff like that, and this happens to guys too, for sure, but it's like, you just look at stuff and it makes you feel worse and worse. Like the whole, like that thing with all the studies they were doing about like beauty magazines and stuff like that. Well, now it's like a million times worse because you have so much more stuff at access to you. So it's like, you just see it, man. You see it. And I've just known enough, also going through it myself, but also knowing a lot of people that have gone through it. It's almost always like the same concept at the end of the day. It's like, it's not, I mean, maybe the details are a little bit different, but it's usually the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably similar themes between everything. Like there might be little variations here and there, but there's a common probably string that there you can find a common core to all of it.
Yeah.
I'm curious about something. What was I going to go with? Oh yeah, along the lines of that. So I'll listen to a couple of different other podcasts when I'm going on walks around the neighborhood, and I think I mentioned before. I'll listen to Fuad's podcast. He's the owner of Hostile Supplements, and they'll do like the Bro Chat, which he's got him and a couple of other bodybuilders on there. Guy Sister Nino, Nick Walker, a few other ones, and they'll field questions from people. And there was a question. This was probably a couple months back. Somebody submitted a question and said, what do I do if my girlfriend doesn't like my posts on Instagram? Or, it's like, is it time to break up with the girlfriend if she doesn't like my comment, like my posts on social media? I'm thinking, fuck.
What kind of Twilight Zone have we wandered into?
Where are we? I can't imagine having to deal with something like that. Why aren't you having this conversation with your other? Like, if they didn't like your post, first off, why do you care so much if they like it or not? What is the actual substance of the relationship? And then why are you going as this bodybuilder who doesn't know the fuck you are?
Yeah.
Go ask. I mean, he's not a relationship guru by any means. I'm not saying I'm a relationship guru either, just for the record. But why would you go ask a complete stranger about this? Why not just go talk to your girlfriend and say, why aren't you liking my post, honey? And is this how you're judging the quality of your relationship on how many likes your significant other gives to your stuff? Because if we based on that, I should have been divorced by now too, because Sandy hasn't listened to one goddamn podcast I've ever done or read one of my articles I've ever written since being in the supplement industry.
That's funny. Yeah, because I think that's like kind of the whole point of it, right? It's just easier. It's easier to have that, especially when you can text it to someone, right? Especially when you can just kind of throw it out there. And a lot of people will also, I made this analogy, or I made this reference the one time I was on the live with Chris Waldron, and I said a lot of what the internet is, I said it's like the grandmother effect. And I said what that is so a person, you go ask your mom, right, for something, and they say no. And you go and ask your dad for something, and he obviously says no. But I was like, grandma will almost always say yes. So I said, that's kind of like what the internet is, where it's like, okay, I'll ask, it was like in reference to a lot of us that do Q&As and stuff like that. We'll get the same question. Sometimes it's because people are doing their due diligence. They want to hear multiple, but then a lot of times it's just people want the answer. They want to hear the answer that makes them feel good. Right. So I was like, yeah, it's like kind of like asking your grandma for something, like in case of emergency, I'll go ask grandma and she'll say yes. So it's like, it's a lot easier to go ask someone like that than to turn to your partner, I guess, and just have an honest conversation.
Yeah. I mean, it's that. I guess I can understand it to a certain point, because
I don't understand it at all.
To open up to a stranger about certain things in your life, or like if you're ever sitting at a bar and the bartender, you just go into whatever. Like I don't sit there and bitch about Sandy, because really I don't want to make it seem like everything is rainbows and sunshine. But we have a really good life together, and but there's a reason you see all those tropes in TV shows, like the bartender that's just there and everybody's laying out their whole life. That there is something to that. The fact that person probably doesn't know you. You don't think that they're going to judge you or be as harsh with you. They might be a little bit softer on you because they're nobody. They're just somebody that's lending you their ear or a shoulder to cry on or whatever.
Yeah, that's true, and that's kind of like one thing I've always, whether it's no matter what it is, whether it's like business relationships or personal relationships, like if it's an important person to me, then I don't ever, like, even if things are wrong, like I'll never. If something was going wrong with like Kristen and I would never go to like my buddies and like start talking shit about it. Like there's no way, because fuck all that. I don't think that, because the first person you should talk to is the other person. But then at the same time, realizing that this is me speaking now, after many years of making mistakes and learning sort of what not to do. But the one good thing I would say about like my age group is we didn't necessarily like grow up with social media, where that just teaches you a lot of really bad habits at a really like young age, where it's no surprise that people have no idea how to interact with each other anymore, because it's like the reality is so much different than what social media does. It almost like I've been having these conversations with people lately, where it's almost like, man, when you throw social media into the mix, it's like relationships almost don't even make any sense. Like you have like this access to like all these other people, And, what are the odds that, one person is going through their stuff and their growth and they're evolving, and then another person is going through their separate stuff. And then you put those two people together, and then you expect each one to understand and be supportive of the other person's things. It's like the whole concept is like kind of crazy.
It's very strange.
And it's just so much easier, like you said, to like go have some sort of like, surface level kind of shitty conversation with some stranger, right? Than have something a difficult.
Agreed. What's going on, JoJo? This next question that I put up in the feed, Justin, is one that we got in the comments section on a previous podcast, and that was just a topic of discussion for a future episode. So let's get your thoughts on it. Can you guys discuss the GOLI Gummies? Not sure if you have yet, but I simply don't understand them. I run a vitamin shop, and they are by far the most popular items we sell. That doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Go on social media. They have thousands of insanely positive reviews, tons of claims and benefits that are ridiculous. Even customers tell me they have changed their lives. All they are apple cider vinegar, ashwagandha, and microdosed superfruits. It's a complete scam. I feel like I'm the only one shitting on them. All right, so for all the listeners out there, let's pull up.
Well, if you go back to my feed post from like a couple years ago, I'm like, don't ever buy gummy fucking anything, basically. I will say that things have improved sort of in that area, but there is something to be said also about, I don't know the dosage of like ashwagandha that they have in the gummies.
I'm going to pull it up right now. It's dog shit.
But there's something to be said for, especially when it comes to things like stress and stuff like that. There is that placebo effect of GOLI is a monster when it comes to marketing, and because their products are cheap as shit, right? So they have tons of money left over to sort of pump into this, and when people buy into It actually like plays in perfectly, Robert, with what you were just kind of like hinted at a little bit ago about how there's a joke. I just made this reference the other day. There's a joke. Lewis Black, he was talking about, he's on a plane, and he said that he's like, I read like a 40-page article about diabetes. He goes, and by the time I was done with the article, I had diabetes. Because it's like you're almost like walked into the answer. So it's like, a big thing about this is like the perception of, you see the marketing and you see all these people feeling good and you see all these great reviews. So you take something, especially when it comes to stress. And I think this is also where CBD gets a lot of their supposed benefits, because there's really nothing going on with that type of stuff. But there's a placebo effect that when you ingest something, and it makes, and you have the perception that you're going to feel good from it, that you will. Like, I mean, it's a fact that whole thing, placebo is a big deal. And there might be some, like I said, I don't know what the ashwagandha dose is from the gummy one.
I mean, it's not even listed here on the gummy facts. It's 500 milligrams of apple cider vinegar.
So is that the apple cider vinegar? Because they have separate ones. They have an ashwagandha one and they have an apple cider vinegar one.
Yeah, I'll pull up the other one in a second. 40 micrograms of beetroot, 40 micrograms. All right, so most pre-workouts, we see 500 milligrams of beetroot extract or beetroot powder. The nitrate content in beetroot powder is still shit.
It's like 1%, right?
Yeah, if that. What in the hell do you think you're getting from 40 micrograms of organic beetroot powder? I'm pretty sure in my greens formula that's sitting in the closet over there, that's some like giant prop blend of whatever, that is going to have more beetroot than this bullshit. That's right. I mean, this is garbage.
Yeah, so
garbage. Garbage.
I mean, that's the powerful part of that whole thing, is because we know these things suck, and we know, like, so apple cider vinegar, there's like, the only thing really that apple cider vinegar really has ever had like any decent data about is some blood sugar support, right?
Yep.
So, which that's good. There's a lot of people that need that, but there's so many better ways to get it. And also, I mean, if I was going to do apple cider vinegar, I would do the actual liquid, because I just we don't really know like that much about like gummy manufacturing and all this kind of other stuff. I don't feel all that comfortable about it. But at the same time, like there is just something to be said for buying into systems like this, because we see it all the time, man. We see people buy into Herbalife and Arbonne and all this bullshit, and it's like a lot of it is just that mental feeling like I'm doing something good for myself,
Right.
so that you feel better about it, when really in reality nothing really is actually happening.
So you're getting, I don't know how you want to look at it, fourth to a half of the actual clinical dose. So most studies on KSM 66 use 600 milligrams. I think there might be one that uses 300 milligrams, but by and large, it's 600 milligrams is the dose that you need for it.
Yeah.
And then they're also using the shittier, less biologically available and active form of vitamin D in D2.
So it's not a complete scam, but it is, because 150 ashwagandha could help people feel better.
Yeah.
We just know there's a lot better ways to go about this. But they are
like, buy a bottle of Nutrecost. I know this says berberine, but I've got KSM 66 600 milligram capsules of KSM in that room over there, and they're dirt cheap.
Yeah, I get it though. I've been shitting on gummy products and stuff like this
they suck
from day one. They suck.
They suck. Oh, and all the people on the scientific and advisory board should be fucking ashamed of themselves. You're peddling this bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Enough angry comments right now.
Yeah, it is true. It's kind of the hard thing. All you can really do is show people and say, hey, this is, it's kind of like what I've relegated myself to is I just don't even bother trying to tell people like what to take anymore. Like all I want you to do is be aware of what else is out there. Like, because GOLI does serious numbers, right? So they have this, so you're going to see them more often than anybody else. So it's like, I just wish people would understand that concept. I try to make the restaurant analogy all the time, but so it's like, if you were to walk into a restaurant and say NutriBio has their ashwagandha, their KSM, and GOLI has their KSM, and so you order a steak and the prices are, say, the same, right? And you were to get 2 plates and one steak is a quarter of the size of the other one, they're same exact steak, right? And you get a quarter of the portion for the same amount of money. Like, would you be kind of pissed off about that? You know what I mean? It's still a steak, and it might, fill you up a little bit and you feel better. Like, oh, it's a good steak. But when you really just look at it side by side and just do like a little bit of simple math, and you realize like what you're actually paying for is all the other stuff and not the actual food. You're paying for the advertisements. You're paying for the ambiance of the restaurant. You're paying for, the decorations. You're not paying for the actual food. So it's kind of hard. It's hard to explain that to people, though. It's unbelievably hard when it's right in front of you. Information's right there.
Yeah, man. It's Brooke, more nonsense supplements like those sugar bear gummies. Also, hi, Brooke. Sugar bear gummies. What in the world are sugar bear gummies?
I don't know. Is that the Kim Kardashian's thing? Kim Kardashian has a gummy line.
I don't know. Sugar bear hair. I'm a little nervous just randomly typing things into
yeah, you gotta be careful with that.
Google. I don't know what in the hell's gonna pop up when I type in some of these supplement brand names. All right, here we go. Come on. Sign up to get our free ebook, How to Grow Longer, Stronger Hair.
I feel like this is the Kardashian product, but I would have thought I would have already seen her on here if it was.
Sugar Bear Sleep. Okay.
Pretty effective marketing, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, people will eat this up. Sugar Bear, what is in there? Hair vitamins.
I will say this, like, at the same time, like, I have no sympathy for people anymore. Like,
yeah.
It is true, like, when they say, like, I'm sorry, apologies to women out there everywhere, but you're the reason why this stuff happens.
You just got canceled. You just got us canceled, Justin.
I'm sorry, but you know what? So women are the best and worst supplement customers there are, because they're great. Because when women find something that they like, man, they tell everybody. They tell all their girlfriends, and then everybody sort of buys the same thing. Well, but sometimes they just don't take time to like read stuff, and they fall into this whole thing. And it's women got to be better. I'm sorry, women I think are the future of the supplement industry, but this is not the future of the supplement industry that we need. So
yeah, this kind of shit. I mean, they're using all of the cheap ass forms of the minerals in here. Again, we've got that D2 ergocalciferol right here. Mm-hmm. You got the pyridine hydrochloride instead of the P5P. You've got cyanocobalamin instead of methylcobalamin.
If I was,
at least they didn't use zinc oxide; they used zinc citrate. So that's that's on the plus side.
I don't want to keep picking on women, but if women would take the same approach that they do, like analyzing their boyfriends or husbands, like habits and DMs and things like that, if they would take that same approach to looking at supplement labels, then we wouldn't have stuff like this. All right, I'm just kidding. Like, I'm not really not kidding, but I support women. I'm going to be in trouble.
Justin and I love women. We're in relationships with women. We love women.
It's true. Yes.
But look, they've got. I find this also kind of weird. Like, so they're going all woo-woo with how clean and pure their ingredients are, and then what do they put in there? Artificial food colors, blue one, right there. When they've got all this other like organic tapioca syrup, raw cane sugar, and then.
I'll tell you what, it looks pretty though.
It does. Looks very very friendly, welcoming, and we
just got to be better. We got to be better.
Agreed.
And it's the whole kind of thing with why you see so many detox and skinny pills and bloating pills and stuff like that. It's because it's geared towards 50% of the market, or not even 50% of the market. Say 50% of the population, but the women market is growing so strongly. But it's like, and you know what really kind of sucks too is when you and I see companies like. Morphogen or Core has a women, it's called Poise. Alpha Line has Superhuman Woman and stuff like that. There's legitimate companies out there that are making products that can really actually like help women.
Agreed.
But this is the stuff that gets bought. So it's like, I think it's almost like it's because I think companies are just discovering more and more about the buying power of women.
Oh yeah.
So they're sort of like, women are sort of like where we were a few years back, where we were just kind of blindly buying stuff. But then the way the internet sort of like has shown all the information possible.
Was it you or was it somebody? I thought it may have been you that told me it was like 60% of all supplement purchases are actually women. They're the majority purchasers of supplements. I thought it was either you or you and I were talking to somebody and they mentioned it because I remember hearing it when I was around you in some way, shape, or form. Well,
it also could be too. That could definitely be true because I think we tend to look at supplements as the sports nutrition space, which is more predominantly guys.
Right.
But little things like this, the GOLIs, and then your grocery store kind of vitamins. So traditionally, women are the ones that do the grocery shopping, right? So they're the ones picking up stuff like that, which. You go to the vitamin aisle and stuff like that in the grocery store sections, they're fucking massive. You know what I mean? So that actually does make a lot of sense. I think that there's some brands in sports nutrition that are trying to break through. I think Alani Nu paved the way for a lot of women to come in this space, and now companies are sort of like, okay, Alani Nu brought in and Bomar, obviously, like bringing in all these new customers. That now they're like, okay, well, let's try our own hand at making some stuff that really does help people. So I think it is changing. I don't think stuff like this it'll never go away. You know what I mean? It's just the MLMs will never go away. It's just kind of one of these things that we sort of have to deal with. But
Brooke, I love when you call out these scams, and I can specifically direct them to these videos. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, I still have yet to have anybody like take me up. I'm like, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, I was like, I would love to hear your why. Maybe I'm missing something, but I have yet to be taken up on that.
Exactly. Snoop is not wrong. Thank goodness you have both led me to the light.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, again, like even if you ultimately buy something like that, the gummies, say you try multiple products and that's what you like. It's like the C4 conversation. I'm like, if you try a bunch of pre-workouts and C4 is the one you want, then if that's what makes you feel better, like that person was saying, the customer is telling them that it changed their lives. Well, okay, then what am I'm going to say that that's wrong, but at the same time, just know that there's other things that are out there. And if you try all those, and these gummies, these GOLI gummies are what makes you feel best, well, then so be it. But as long as you can't don't have it in that narrow lens that's the only thing that's out there.
Yeah, exactly. Brooke's checking in from Twitch too, which I get. Let me also remind people, if your comment's not getting through on the YouTube side of things, jump on over to Twitch, because sometimes if your comment's too long or you put in a word that YouTube doesn't like or something, then it'll block your comment. And so there doesn't seem to be as much restrictions with the Twitch comments, I find. Sandy is such a great representation of the women aspect. I'll make sure to pass that along to her. That'll make her day. She's they're doing teacher in service this week, so she's been back at school like 7 till 4 every day. So this little ray of sunshine will make her feel good. So thank you first for that, Brooke. Her review on protein and women only products definitely spoke volumes. It was one of her tirades. Yeah, when you've seen that before, the women's only proteins where they have like 15 grams of protein in a women's protein. No, you don't. That's and they're charging the same price as like the 25-gram scoops that are for the men, like the men folk.
Yeah, it's like the beginner pre-workout stuff. Yeah. It's like, no, really all you're saying is it's underdosed, right?
Yeah, like that Caged Muscle Sport steaming pile of crap that came out a couple months back.
Yeah, because it's like, well, when it comes to like actual like performance and stuff like that, yeah, sure, there's certain dosages will vary, but you don't just cut everything in half and say it's for beginners, because you have to hit a certain threshold to get the results from it. It doesn't really matter if you're a beginner or not. Like, it's all about pushing your performance to the next level. You need certain dosages of ingredients. So. Agreed.
The changing life thing could always be that placebo effect as well, which alludes to the mind over matter.
Especially when it comes to stress. I mean, like I said, that's been my whole thing with like CBD and all that crap from the very beginning. It's like people go, oh, they think it's like taboo to use CBD and stuff like that, and then they're like, okay, well, this is like, oh, it's got all this like weird stuff. No, it doesn't. Like CBD sucks, but it's like people will use it and they'll like talk themselves into feeling better because they use it, and it's like it's like drastically overpriced too. But so if that's what makes people feel better at the end of the day, but I agree. I think a lot of that stuff, especially when it comes to stress, is all in their heads, which as long as you get there, then that's fine. But at the same time, it's like,
have you messed around with any of the Delta 8 gummies? Have you tried any of those? Have y'all seen it? Or like, has Jacob stocked them in the nutrition store, gotten requests for them? Because there's a guy down the street, the guy that I think I've told him before, but that did our roof. That's this big, massive, like 6'3", super humongous motherfucker that can lift a shit ton of weight. But he said like his buddy owns the local supplement shop here. That's about 10 minutes away from our house. And he said they go through the Delta 8 gummies like crazy. I haven't tried them myself, and he said he's eaten an entire pack, hasn't felt anything. But he said there's like soccer moms that are coming in there day after day, and they're always sold out of them. They're raving about how great those things are.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that use it. I don't. It's not. I just don't. I don't know, man. I don't have that kind of relationship with stress and stuff like that where I also don't. It's the same way I felt when CBD first came out. I'm like, I was like, there's going to be a quality issue here because it's too new. It's too new and too unregulated, and there's too much hype around it that there's going to be people cutting corners left and right. And what they ultimately found out was tons of these companies were putting THC in their CBD and stuff like that. It's like, well, no shit. No wonder you felt better, but that's not legal. Like, it's not supposed to happen.
Correct.
Same thing with this Delta 8 stuff. Like, I don't know enough about the entire process where I would trust it. And I don't need stuff like that, to be honest with you. I know like Jacob loves it. Jacob uses it. I know I was talking to somebody else, another industry person that we both know. But man, like this is like this 1% thing, the 99% trying to emulate the 1% kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah.
There are people, especially in this space, they have such extreme lifestyles that certain things become necessary for them. And then other people try to emulate that, and it's like you don't need that stuff, kind of thing.
Right.
But he's talking about kratom, or however the fuck you pronounce that word, kratom or something.
Yeah, I always say kratom, but I've heard kratom or kratom or something. I say kratom.
French. It's French. So anyway, that stuff, same thing. It's a bunch of crap.
Do something different.
It's a bunch of unregulated crap and from some shitty ass manufacturer, and people like think it's drugs, so they get all excited about it, and then they have that placebo effect. So it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. Brooke, I came late to the party. Well, you should go sit in the corner of shame and repent for your sins of showing up late to this podcast. You might have said it already. Any cool nootropic shell I've tried? I tried Chemix, 4 to a half serving. I liked it. Very peaceful.
This is like asking us like if we've tried any bourbon. Like nootropics are kind of like nootropics are our thing. Like this is so there's one for you. Now this is Brain. I just got in. Man Sports sent me a package this week. And
sweet. The new Brain Bridge?
The Elevate one?
Yeah. It's got like 400 mgs of caffeine and some other stuff.
So the first time we took it, Kristen mixed it up for both of us. Like the first morning we got it.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking it, and I'm telling you, man, it was like 5 minutes into drinking this stuff, I was like, holy shit. Like I am feeling this like hardcore.
Yeah.
So we keep drinking it, and I was like, man, this stuff is legit. So come to find out, the full serving is 2 scoops, and she'd only put 1 scoop in the thing, and I was like, oh, man. So I have not actually tried 2 scoops yet because it's just not necessary.
Now let's go. We'll pull this up because when the newsfeed news story first came across Stacked, Sandy and I broke it down. But we can show the listeners out there. I want to get a bottle of this. I need to order a bottle of this. And plus, I always want to get. Who's the guy that runs? Alex is the main guy over at Man Sports. I want to get him on the show. Yeah.
So the thing that you feel in here the most, I said, I only took 1 scoop. It's the Urea-Drensis and the halostacine, 100%. Yeah. The halostacine for me is like, I feel that stuff big time.
That's something you don't see a whole lot. Like I know what Glaxon uses it in. Well, Specimen.
They use it in a couple of things. Because it's like a PEA style ingredient, and there was I remember there was like some questions about like, was it going to be banned or also, so then people stopped using it, and then like what happens 99% of the time, like nothing happens.
Yeah.
So people started using it again. But that stuff is very like light you up. So this is very different, but there's also a regular Brain Bridge is very different. This is much higher stim.
Yeah. I remember the original Brain Bridge formula. I liked that one.
Mm-hmm. That one's low.
This new Elevate thing looks really good. I mean, this would be fun to take for a ride.
It was fun. Like I said, I haven't done 2 scoops yet. So, and you know me. Well, the reason why I don't like to go too much caffeine like in the morning. Like I take this in the morning sometimes because I know that come 4 or 5 o'clock at night, I'm going to take a pre-workout. So
yeah,
I try to avoid having 400 calf in the morning and 400 calf in the evening too. But
prudent.
It's one of these days, I'm sure it'll happen. But it also tastes exactly like Sunny D.
Does it? Is that what the flavor of it is?
I think it's like orange juice, but you know how like Rise did their Sunny D collab?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to try that one, but I will say this one tastes exactly like Sunny D.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brain Bridge Elevate. Good stuff, man.
And I didn't get Ninja sent me a box last week.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know you got the box last week. Have you tried the nootropic yet?
The nootropic was not in there, but they're sending it. They're sending it.
Okay, good. Sandy and her coworkers have run that the past 2 days. So they ran it Monday and Tuesday. They said Monday, all of them felt like their brains were on fire in a good way, like super happy mood, super motivated, like go, go, go. They said yesterday the effect wasn't as strong. Like they were focused, but that euphoria, that like intense desire to like get shit done wasn't there. So I mean, obviously there was some tolerance there and stuff, but I mean that's nothing uncommon, which is why we always tell people to kind of rotate stuff. But I found that interesting.
Yeah, that is very common actually. It's like I know, but even what's interesting for me is like if I just take like one day off, I'll get that effect like again. But sometimes, multiple days in a row, and it feels totally different.
Yeah, what I found interesting about this, there's no huperzine in here. This is one of the few like nootropics on the market that isn't loading it up with huperzine.
Yeah.
Huh.
Good. I got enough huperzine in my system probably.
Yeah.
I don't need any more.
I wonder if their regular Brain Bridge has it in. I thought it used to.
This is a cool formula too.
Yeah, where's the...
Very much on the other end of the spectrum, like as far as stimulants go. Because I think even at max dose, it's like 100, like 200 caffeine total. But yeah, they sent me over some cool stuff. Ninja sent me some. I got a ton of shit last week. Like it was like Glaxon sent me some stuff, and I don't know, man. It was
okay, there's 200 micrograms in regular Brain Bridge.
Serenade.
Serenade, yeah, that's a good one. N-acetyl-tyrosine. There are some of the dosages kind of looking a little, I don't want to say suspect, but they're on the lower end of what I typically consider, or where I typically like to see them, specifically like the acetyl-L-carnitine. I mean, you're getting a ton of alpha GPC, plus with the huperzine in there. That's great. And a nice dose of teacrine, which we don't see that very often anymore.
Yeah, they get a lot of good feedback about this one too.
Yeah, I ran the initial whenever they did back when they actually had the black and yellow tubs. Yeah, interesting.
Yep.
Is that showing up all the way on your screen, Justin? Because it's cut off halfway on mine.
Yeah, sure.
There we go. Okay, I was looking into the Brain Bridge, definitely on my radar. Yeah. Man Sports makes some good stuff. Their old original Game Day formula, the DMHA version, was great. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I can't. They sent me a few things. Their pump capsule product and a couple other things. So like Ninja sent me their pre-workout, which so you got to try them, right?
Yeah, that's got like the super long-lasting, strong thermo feels going on with it.
Did you get the Red Bull flavor?
Yes, the energy drink flavor. Yeah, it's just called energy drink or whatever. Yeah.
It tastes. I mean, it's pretty close to Red Bull, man.
Yeah, that one and the other flavor I got, which is the sangria flavor. We got two flavors of it. So they went energy drink and the sangria flavor.
So I got the sleep aid, the energy drink. I got the aminos and the protein. The protein I wasn't really that wild about. It was okay. It was I got the birthday cake flavor because Kristen's gonna make some recipes with the birthday cake. But it was like the only bummer about it, like it tasted fine. Like it's got the collagen in it. So it's pretty cool. But the only bummer for me was like they have like the sprinkles and stuff, like the inclusions. Yeah. They just all sink to the bottom. Yeah. And it's like, well, that doesn't do me any good. But
did you get like some kind of like metallic or weird aftertaste on the protein? Like I thought I tasted something. We got the salted caramel and the peanut butter candy ones, like the Reese's Pieces kind of flavor one. Sandy thought they were phenomenal. Like she said, that peanut butter was better than a Pollen's peanut butter cookie, which I had to hit the brakes hard on. I said, we're talking two different ballparks here, honey. This isn't working. Not even close. And
you guys are still together. That's good. You guys have a strong relationship.
Yeah. I mean, that was like, you're going to sleep on the couch tonight for that kind of comment. God help you if Robbie hears this.
Yeah.
But I got some kind of weird taste. Now, maybe I had tried too many other things that day and my tongue and palate were just shot.
Sure. But, yeah, it's kind of weird because I tried the birthday cake one. It tastes, birthday cake-ish, but it's. I've honestly. The reason why I got it is so that she can use it for like a recipe. But at the same time, I've never had a birthday cake protein that I actually really liked. So it probably wasn't. It's not very. I don't think indicative of, because I think the brand. I've been pretty impressed with everything that they've used. That pre-workout smacks pretty hard.
It's good, man. I mean, I'm not a fan of theanine in pre-workouts.
Sometimes it's necessary, yeah.
That's a strong stim kick, and did the thermo component hit you as hard as it hit me and Sandy?
Well, I usually sweat pretty good anyway, like when I'm at the gym, but I was sweating, yeah.
Like it just, you feel hot for hours afterwards.
Yeah, it
but
was
damn
good.
Damn if it doesn't give you a good energy, focus, and motivation to get shit done. So I love trying all the nootropics. Currently, Roberts is my favorite, which will be released soon. Yes, it will be released soon. We got the beta samples from the other manufacturer, and those are going through. It was only 7. I only got 7 servings of it.
What does that mean? You only got 7 servings.
I had to run. The look you give me is like, where's my samples? I only had 7.
That's exactly the look I'm giving you. What the fuck is this?
I'll see if I think Sandy's got some from the original batch. Like, manufacturer A, I can send those to you.
No, it's okay. I'm moving. I am moving to the other end of the couch and taking my phone with me.
I'm gonna take your phone and just.
Yep.
There goes my intimacy for tonight.
Here we go.
My sex drive's shot. Sorry for all the cats. I had to yell from the corner of shame.
Understandable.
Touche, Brooke. And now you got me in trouble with my other wife.
Wow. So, and speaking of nootropics, I actually have a Natural Body Inc. package arriving today. You know Garrett from Obsessed? Yeah. Did you try his retroactive, the one that looks like the Nintendo? No, I love the look of it, but I never tried his. I'm familiar with the brand and the formulas, but I haven't tried any of his stuff. Yeah, he always makes killer formulas, but he sent me some to try. It's like this sour cherry flavor that is amazing. And so I ordered some from Natural Body Inc. the other day, and that arrived. Actually, I just got an email. It showed up just now. So that's another one, Brooke, that I definitely recommend. Is it's called Retroactive, and it's really like the coolest tub you'll ever see. Yeah, let me pull it up, and we can show everybody here. We can kind of go through the formula a bit. Now she's rubbing it in. Yeah. Awesome. I mean, if it's got ingredients that you're quite familiar with and know and love and stuff. So yeah, I bet it does. I mean, I wouldn't know, but yeah, I love the look of this. I'm curious how they didn't get a nasty gram or anything. Not yet. You know, I think Obsess is still a little bit too small. Bigger. So, because you definitely can't do that. You're definitely not allowed to do that. All right, 1,000 milligrams tyrosine, 1,000 milligrams Alcar, 400 alpha GPC. Now I'm assuming that's 200. It's the 50%, so it's 200 milligrams of actual alpha GPC. I actually don't know because he didn't specify. Now that's a good question because there is some 98%, 99% alpha GPC that's out there. Is there? Mm-hmm. Huh. 200 caffeine, which I like in the nootropic setting. 100 milligrams of 40% dynamine, so you're getting 40 milligrams of dynamine there, and then 100 micrograms of huperzine. So yeah, I mean that's covering all your bases right there. Yeah, pretty simple, and it's I like it. Yeah, that flavor, dude, the flavor is so good. Although this seems to be they got a slight typo on their bottle right there. It says teacrine is a registered trademark. Probably need to switch that for. Did the original version have teacrine in it? Maybe. Yeah, that's not a. Probably. That's not a good look, though. Yeah. Anyway. Labels, man. I tell you what, God, if people get labels right, it's like a miracle. Yeah, there's so many little things, and unless you have a lot of people go over it, it's, it can be something that gets a little. 4 citrulline, 3 betaine, 1 taurine. 500 rhodamine with a 3% salitroside, so you got the stronger ass kicker alkaloid there. Especially if you take 2 scoops. Yeah, I mean, even at 1 scoop, that would feel. I don't know, 5 milligrams of alpha-yohimbine. That's a lot. Fuck. That would be. I mean, yeah, this would be good to try. I'd definitely try 1.5 scoops. 2 would be interesting. That's all. It'd be a lot of alpha-yohimbine. A lot of alpha-yohimbine. But yeah, he makes a lot of like random. You could tell he does like small run pre-workouts and then changes them up quite a bit. I mean, hey, there's definitely a market for it, so why not? I do have this one. He did send me this one to try. Fitnox, 200 urea, 200 caffeine, 250 Fitnox, good stuff. 600 Vaso 6. That's
Not cheap.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Not cheap at all. 1,000 Alcar good, 2,000 taurine, 3 of creatine, 4 of betaine, and 6 of citrulline. Yeah, all solid around there. That would feel good too.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like that one a lot.
Although I'm curious why it says only pumps when they've got stims in there.
I don't know. That was my first question. I'm like, so it's not only because I got it. I thought it was just a pump formula, obviously.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh wait, it's got a readrensis and caffeine in it. I was like, that's good to know because I damn near like was gonna mix it with like a stim pre-workout.
You would have been flying high.
So not only pumps.
Yeah, not only pumps. While we're on the topic of like awesome dose stuff, I just saw this story come across Stacked not too long ago. So Dr. Dean over at Supplement Needs in Britain, or the UK, EU, super smart dude. Came on this, he put together he has a pump only formula, a stim formula, and like a focus only formula, and you can stack all 3 of them together. But here, this one, he's combined all 3 into one comprehensive pre-workout.
Yeah, he tagged me in this today, but I didn't get a chance to look at it.
Son of a bitch.
That's all in the same product?
This is all one product, yeah. So we got potassium and phosphate in there. We got vitamin B6. We got methylfolate, which is B9. 6 grams of citrulline, 2,000 of betaine anhydrous, 1,500 Alcar, 1,500 tyrosine.
Nobody in America is going to make a product like this. This is way too expensive.
I mean, Morphogen, a pollen maybe would go and do that, and then I would say those are probably the only 2 that are willing to shell out that kind of money for this.
Man.
600 alpha GPC, 600 up. Well, going back to the typos that we were talking about. Lion's mane, missing an apostrophe on the lion's mane, and that alpha GPC should be up there. Phenylalanine, 500 CDP choline, 600 alpha GPC, and 500 that, along with 100 micrograms of huperzine A. Damn. SAMe, I like that ingredient not only for like the mood benefits, anti-anxiety, anti-stress, but it's also got some good. It's a big methyl group donor, so it's got good liver health benefits too.
That is an expensive ingredient.
Yes, it is. Yeah. 300 Vaso-6, 300 pomegranate, 200 mucuna, which is going to give you 90 L-dopa. The S-acetyl glutathione is another riff on N-acetyl glutathione. So the NAC. Oh no, never mind. Hold on. It's a. All right, so we got. Give me a second. My brain just took a massive shit. Hold on. We have N-acetylcysteine, which is NAC. Then that's always been shown to be more effective than regular L-glutathione.
Right.
S-acetyl glutathione is another variation of glutathione that's actually been shown to be pretty bioavailable. It's super expensive, but it's been effective at that 200 milligram dose. And what it's going to do is kind of like the other polyphenols and what regular glutathione does. It increases the bioavailability and bioactivity of nitric oxide in the body.
I like also that it's kind of like what you just said about theanine. I don't like theanine pre-workouts, but I hate when people use it inappropriately. Like if you use some really crazy aggressive stims, sometimes rather than just using less stims, which is what I would do, but I can almost understand. But like, what I hate is when people use things like Pure Caf and time release caffeine and also use theanine, because it's like, dude, why are you putting that in there? Like, it makes no sense. Like you're basically making it like a sleep aid. So this one, if you're going to use that, like, if you're using things like caffeine citrate or, anhydrous can hit pretty hard and stuff like that, then it's like, okay, I can almost kind of understand you're using some exotic hard-hitting stimulants. But if you use like these forms that are, the dicaffeine malates and stuff like that, and then they throw theanine in there, it's like, why the fuck are you doing that? Like it's already meant to not make you crash. It's already meant to keep things smoother and on the rails. So why are you putting more stuff in there to like calm it down even more? So anyway, the point I'm getting is that I'm glad he didn't do that here.
No, I mean, it's a solid formula. This is, I find it interesting. 3 scoops. They got to give you like this tiny little like scooper. You got to do 3 of them bitches to get a full serving. But maybe, I mean, we all know the material shortages, so maybe that has a factor into it too. I'm not sure.
It's a beast.
Yeah, good job, Dean.
That's a beast. Everything that they do, supplement needs, I've always been a big fan.
Yeah. Is there anything else good on Stacked? Panda? I've never tried anything from Panda.
Mm-mm.
Oh, sweet. We're getting 220 milligrams of caffeine from Muscle Tech because that's what they really need to be doing.
Shane, did we really need to put that up there?
What I'm wondering is, why are they even releasing a caffeine? Like, there's got to be a demand for this. I'm guessing not in the U.S., like other external markets or something.
I haven't looked at Stacked in a while.
Yeah. Pico 2 got a new... All right, so 6 organic mushrooms, 2 clinical studies, 1 new logo, 0 competition. I don't know what the fuck this means.
If you know, you know.
Okay, there we go. Pico 2.
Robert,
I didn't think anything was wrong with the old...
You're younger than I am, man. Come on, man.
Dude, you know... See, like, that's the original Pico 2 logo. I'm not sure why we needed to change it.
I mean,
they're both fine. I like the original just as much. But, you know, like I mentioned before, with the Bourbon Brothers podcast logo, I'm not one for aesthetics or marketing or figuring out anything sleek like that. Pollen's got V3 of Chaos that came out that just hit. I like the flames on the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time I'm seeing that. That'll be good stuff. Ugly. Have you ever tried these energy drinks?
Mm-mm.
I know Gerhard has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, he's how I heard about them. And MHP is still around.
What in the hell is on Hyper Crush? I'm curious. I have a feeling I might regret this, but and I know like their diuretic is still a huge seller. Oof. Okay, well at least they got a full dose of creatine in there. That's good.
Well,
the rest of this is kind of a steaming pile of shit.
Yeah, pretty much what I would expect from them.
Yikes. Okay. All right. Well, I tried.
Right.
And did you see Charles? Like, do you know who Charles Glass is?
Well, I don't, but it was posted in the private Facebook group, and it was just an onslaught. That label is not only does the formula suck, but you want to talk about someone that didn't even bother to go through even the most basic compliance with a label. That would be that person. So I don't care if he's like what they call him, the godfather of bodybuilding. I don't care. You're an asshole for releasing a product like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that a pure cash grab. It's just
pure cash grab,
and
not even, and like I said, not even the most basic quality control was used to go over that label. And it's like, so if you're the godfather of bodybuilding, you probably have some resources at your disposal, and that's the type of thing that you put out there. Not only is the formula absolute trash, but the label is complete shit show. And it's non-compliant all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, awesome. Like, way to go. 2 for 2 on fucking up that product.
Yeah. It's disgraceful. I mean, it's as bad as like the Arnold Iron series was that Muscle Farm did. It's actually worse than that. I mean, because that line was spiked with like they did the protein spiking shit. The formulas were dog crap and all of that stuff. I mean, that could have been huge if they had done it right, and it was a steaming pile of monkey shit. This will be good to try.
Yeah, I was gonna maybe consider trying to get on the app and trying to get that, because they're doing like a really limited release, like 100 cans a week or something like that. I can't remember.
Like a slow rollout to kind of build up the.
Yeah, it's a very, very limited. I think just inventory control kind of thing, probably. Oh God.
Oh, I mean, Giant Sports has gone through several iterations of things. Like I know when Bruce Neller was doing some stuff with them, they were one of the first to bring DMHA to the market with their Riot pre-workout.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all open label. This is
hard to look at.
Fuck me. I mean, what is Tonkat Ali doing in a pre-workout? Are we trying to go for like this whole test boosting pre-workout bullshit?
Yeah, I don't know. I know that one's like, it's that libido kind of thing, but at the same time, it's like, what is that going to do when you're in a pre-workout?
Please don't support these products, people. Please don't. I mean, it's your money. Do with it what you want to, but you could pay me $1,500 to write a blog post and do a review video, and I still wouldn't give this thing any glowing marks.
Does that happen? Do people get paid to do stuff?
Have it on good authority from a brand owner I trust. That's how much they were charged for a launch package.
That sounds like a fucking ripoff.
Definitely. God, please don't support these products. The GOLI Gummies, this NitroBurst shit. Fuck. For his upcoming promising nootropic, Beyond Zoned.
I was actually going to bring this one up. He actually is not going to call it that. I think he said basically because Core has their Core Zone.
Mm-hmm.
They use the same manufacturer. He's like I'm gonna change. I think he said he's going to call it Cerebral, which I was like, that's cool. It's a better name anyway. And but he's been testing this product out for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't sure whether he was going to do capsules because, as we know, like a lot of the nootropics, they taste like shit.
Horrible. Yeah.
But he is doing powder, which is cool.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for powdered nootropics. There are bitch to flavor, especially stuff like teacrine, bacopa, rhodiola, all of that stuff.
Yep.
But if you can find a way to make it, palatable, do it. I would always rather drink it than deal with capsules.
Same as me. And then also, like, if you, the way Jeff does things, he's like just mega doses, everything. Then, you're taking capsules. The next thing you know, you're taking 10 capsules to have a nootropic. Right. And which I think is fine. Like, I don't have any, but most people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
10 ingredients in the mix. Well, we're going to assume one of those is caffeine. So the other 9, we'll get some choline, some tyrosine.
And like him too, everything he does is low stim. And I think he did show me the formula. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but there was like a small amount of caffeine in it. It's another low stim, high. It'd be right up your alley. I know that much. I remember that much.
Good stuff. HP. Yeah, here's the monstrosity, and props to Shane for saying it's underdosed, because there are probably some other news outlets that would just say, "Oh well, it's from Charles Glass." They wouldn't call it out for the shit heap that it is. This was another goddamn. I came across this. This is another steaming pile of shit. Don't support that. There's 18 different versions of Lipo6 on the market. Like Nutrex has done with their Lipo6 what Cellucor did with C4.
Or hydroxycut.
And also took on with hydroxycut. Exactly. There's nothing thyrogenic about this. This is a glorified KSM 66 formula, and you couldn't even put 600 milligrams of it in there, you cheap fucks.
Well, I also don't like, that is one thing that bothers me. I don't like when supplement companies talk about thyroid, because the thyroid is so tightly regulated, like within the body. And not that people that competitors, PED users, they train wreck their insides and stuff like that. And not that there aren't some things that can perhaps help with their thyroid issues, their supplement wise, but for the average person, none of that thyroid shit's going to do anything. Like it's not, it's just not. And I hate when supplement companies pretend like they have the answer to your thyroid issues, because that's bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting a sprinkling of some vitamins and minerals in here, which you're probably already getting from your multivitamin. You're getting an ineffective dose of L-tyrosine. You're getting a piss poor amount of bioperin. And then you get 300. So this is a glorified KSM 66 formula.
Yeah, it's kind of rough.
It's dog shit. Dog shit. Go save yourself money. Go find KSM 66 off Amazon from Nutricost or some other bulk provider. Don't support this kind of shit. This is garbage. Garbage.
I gotta wrap it up, my man.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So on that note, I think we kind of covered the cool stuff I got this week. Because there was a couple things. There was that Elevate I wanted to talk to you about, and then there was the Ninja I wanted to talk to you about.
Cool. All right. Well then, yeah, man.
Yeah.
We'll save the rest of the comments. We'll touch that on either next week's episode or I'll get to them tomorrow or something like that. Thank you all to the listeners for tuning in. We appreciate it. My bourbon brother in arms, thank you for joining us as always. Good episode number 6 in the books. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video with family, friends, and loved ones, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Bourbon Bros.
Yep, and we'll work on that logo.
There we go. Bye.